Your dog didn't choose you by chance. He chose you before he was born. And I know that sounds impossible. But in 1933, Edgar Cayce, the most extensively documented psychic of the 20th century, proved it in a room. In front of witnesses. With a name. With a date. With details no one could have made up. And what he revealed that day about the souls of animals, science still can't explain. Religion never wanted to tell. And most people will die without ever knowing. If you have a dog right now, or if you've lost one and still carry that weight in your heart, stay until the end of this video. Because after you hear this, you'll never look at him the same way again. The woman was called Mrs. 268. That's how Cayce's official records identify her. She entered the room in despair, not for money, not for health, not for a relationship. She wanted to know about Mona. A small dog. Gentle. Loyal. The kind of animal that seems to know you before you even open your mouth. Her question was simple and yet impossible. Where did we meet before? Cayce closed his eyes. He went into a trance. And he answered. A lion, he said calmly. Mona had been a lioness. In ancient Rome. In the Colosseum. An animal that faced deadly battles while Christians were thrown to the beasts, and that had fought against this woman's own husband in mortal combat. Now think about that. The same soul that roared in the Colosseum lay at this woman's feet every night, begging for affection. The form had changed. The body had changed. The species had changed. But one thing hadn't changed. Love. And that wasn't all. This woman's daughter also asked about Mona in her own reading. Cayce confirmed it, she, too, knew that soul. In the same Rome. During the same period. A 16-year-old girl, in another completely separate reading, was told that her current dog had been with her in ancient Egypt, over 3,000 years ago. Pattern. Always the same pattern. Souls that love each other, find each other again. If you've come this far for the first time, sign up now. Every week we bring you the deepest teachings of Edgar Cayce that you won't find anywhere else. Click the bell. Stay with me. So let's get to what Cayce actually taught about the souls of animals. Because most religions have told you one thing. And Cayce said something completely different. The official position of mainstream religion has always been clear: animals have no soul. When they die, it's over. Period. Cayce completely disagreed. In his readings, he explained that everything that exists, absolutely everything, is a manifestation of spirit that has pushed itself into physical matter. The mineral kingdom. The plant kingdom. The animal kingdom. Your dog is not a soulless biological machine. He is spirit manifesting. Just like you. Think about the last time your dog came to you when you were feeling down. Without you asking. Without you saying a word. He just knew. That's not blind instinct. That's one soul recognizing another. But there's a crucial difference between the human soul and the animal soul, and understanding this changes everything. Cayce explained that the only thing separating humans from animals is free will. Humans can choose to turn away from the divine. To act out of ego. Out of fear. Out of envy. Out of anger. Animals cannot. They live in perfect harmony with the creative force. They never stray from their true nature. They never wear masks. They never pretend to be something they're not. Your dog, in its pure innocence, lives closer to divine harmony than any human has ever managed to. And that purity, doesn't end when they take their last breath. So let's get to the question that brought you here. What happens to your dog after he dies? Cayce was straightforward: they carry on. The spirit, the essence, the love, it all continues to exist. Death is not an eraser. It is a door. And Cayce went even further. Animals also reincarnate. They return to physical form, just like humans. And, this is what will make your heart tremble, they tend to stay with the same soul groups. Let me say that again. Animals stay with their soul groups. Just as humans reunite life after life, as lovers, as parents, as children, as friends, animals do exactly the same. That dog that seems to understand you like no one else in the world does, may have been with you in 10 previous lives. And when Cayce was asked if Mona would always be a dog in her next incarnations, he said no. The form changes. The species changes. But the soul that loved you, that finds its way back. Always. Now I need you to do one thing. Think about your dog. About his name. About the way he looks at you. And reply to me in the comments right now, with his name and a single word that describes how you feel when you look into his eyes. One word. It'll take 10 seconds. And it'll help more people find this video and get this message. Do it now while the video is still playing. Now I want to speak directly to those whose hearts are broken. To those who have recently lost a dog. To those who wake up in the morning and, for a split second, forget that he's no longer there, and then remember. And it hurts all over again. To those who feel that heavy silence. That empty space by the door. That reflex to reach out and pet him, only to find nothing there. Cayce said something that needs to be said far more often than it is. Death is merely passing through God's other door. This applies to all beings. Humans and animals. But here is something fascinating that scholars of Cayce's readings point out specifically about animals. Since they do not possess free will in the way humans do, their contact after death is purer. More direct. Without the interference of ego, fear, or doubt that sometimes complicates human spiritual communication. When your dog visits you from the other side, it is pure love. No agenda. No unfinished business. Just love. Slower pace, each sign spoken with a pause. And people report these signs all the time. The familiar weight of a body on the bed, even when no one is there. The click of nails on the floor that you hear before falling asleep. Other pets in the house staring at an empty corner and wagging their tails at something you can't see. Dreams where they appear young, healthy, happy, looking at you in a way you recognize. Communicating just one thing: I'm okay. You can breathe. A toy that appears in a place you don't remember putting it. And perhaps the most beautiful of all the signs. A new animal that comes into your life. And from the very first second acts as if it already knows you. Because maybe, it already does. Remember Mona? The lioness who became a dog. The soul that changed form but didn't change address. Your dog may return. Not in the same body. Not in the same species. But the consciousness that loved you, that knows where to find you. So what do we do with all of this? First, every moment with him is sacred. Not just the easy moments. The tiring early morning walks. The trips to the vet. The slow process of aging. The accidents. The mess. All of this is part of a soul's pact. All of this carries weight. All of this has meaning. Second. Your sadness when they're gone is sacred. In a world that treats the loss of a dog as something trivial, as something you shouldn't grieve so deeply over, knowing this validates what you already feel deep in your heart. It's not just a dog. It is a separation of the soul. Temporary, but real. And of course it hurts. And of course it matters. And of course you have the right to feel all of that. Third, and most importantly, love does not end. Cayce was absolutely clear, love is the most powerful force in the universe. It cannot be destroyed. It transcends form, it transcends time, it transcends death. Your dog lives in the present moment. You, too, were created to live that way. He loves unconditionally. You, too, were born to love that way. He trusts completely. And trust is the essence of faith. He finds joy in the simplest things. And joy is your natural state, before the world convinced you otherwise. Perhaps they are not just companions on our journey. Perhaps they are teachers sent by the divine to remind us who we truly are. The next time you are with your dog, stop whatever you are doing. Look into his eyes. Really. Deeply. Because you are looking at an old friend. One who has traveled through lifetimes to reach you. One who chose you, not by chance, not by luck, but out of love. And when their journey in this particular form has ended, remember what Edgar Cayce taught us. Remember Mona, the lioness who returned. Remember that souls who love each other are never lost. On the other side of that door, he'll be waiting for you. With his little paws open. Just like always. If this video has moved you in any way, share it now with someone who has lost their dog and is carrying that weight alone. Send it to that person. Now. They need to hear this. Comment below with your dog's name, the one who's with you today or the one who's already gone. This space is for them, too. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every week we bring you Cayce's deepest teachings on life, death, and everything in between. Until the next video. Take good care of yours.